The Deep Stone Crypt. Many of its times in the lore of Destiny 1 and indeed Destiny 2, in which we have known it as one thing, but Bungie itself have renamed it something else. What's going on, guys? My name is Vision, and today I'm bringing you a full guide on how to complete the Deep Stone Crypt raid. It is for them players who have not completed it yet, some players who want to just brush up on the skills a bit more just to understand each encounter, which I will go through fluently as much, and it is also for our clan #Misguided to actually learn the mechanics and learn actually the raid to everything basically, because some of them haven't done it, they want to learn it, and obviously people might not be able to do it all the time. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so starting on the first encounter, which is basically the mission of locating the Deep Stone Crypt. That's all you're doing. It's a nice Sparrow encounter. Literally, all you can do is you can get on your Sparrow, or you can get on the packs available. It is really up to you. What we're doing right now at the moment is just basically glitching the game, because there is a glitch in the game. It's not been bugged yet. It's just basically you ride out into the storm on your Sparrow, you jump back into the bubble, you jump back onto your Sparrow, and you should have the shelter from the storm always active. Now, that's not really anything. That's just going to keep you sheltered all the way, so you won't actually take anything. But when you do it normally, you will have another buff in the bottom left called Frostbite. Now, just like it is in Spire Stars when you're engulfed, or in Wrath Machine and everything, when that timer ticks up to 10, it's going to kill you. Simple as that. As you can see now, like, I'm still trying to do it and everything, and you saw then that the Frostbite popped up as a debuff. I thought, screw this, let's get on a pike and we'll show you basically the location, everything. Like, what you basically intend to do is you're trying to get from bubble to the location, to the entrance, basically. Now, the best way to do it is from a displacement perspective, going from point A to point B, being in a straight line, because that's the shortest, quickest distance. We don't work like that in here. You've got to go from bubble to bubble. Sometimes it's pretty straightforward as where you're going to. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes you have to like kind of figure out where to go. There is a lot of gaps at times where you will have to boost over, or maybe not, depending on how quick you're already going and how good your reaction timing is. But it's pretty much that. All you're doing is just looking for bubble to bubble, killing the enemies in every bubble, if you're doing it normally, and just basically keep moving on and on. Now, when I was going after this one, like, I really found this first couple pretty easy enough. But this one here, like, it took me a while. I don't know why it did. It just happened. But all you're doing basically is just going from bubble to bubble, like I said. Kill the enemies there, and you just make your way to the end. They're not hard enemies at the end of the day. They were on day one, but not at the moment. All you're doing, like I said, just bubble to bubble. You keep an eye on that Frostbite, because Frostbite is going to kill you. But if you just follow the path that I'm taking right now, it's very linear, it's very straightforward. Don't do what I'm about to do here now and get stuck on a rock or stuck in a mine and all, because the mines will slow you down, and you need to make sure you'll keep moving from bubble to bubble, otherwise it will kill you in the Frostbite. Again, just kill the enemies, because why not? And I've got hammers, so everyone else is off there, because like I said, they glitched it out and I decided not to. Get back in your Sparrow, and basically this is the final stretch. At the end though, there will be 2 brigs, pretty much big yellow brigs there that you can kill, and basically this is just the entrance to the Deep Stone Crypt. Now this is where the fun begins. Just remember this. This is Dark Side 1. This is Dark Side 2. This one over here at the back is Dark Side 3. Dark Side 4 is just around the corner of it on this back of this database pad, and Dark Side 5 is just here, and the same with the light side, which we will go and show now. So just remember that. Just remember Dark Side 1 is on the farthest left all the way down to the farthest right. So light side, there's 2 of them close together. The one on the wall is light side 1. The one on the pipe that's right next to it is light side 2. Light side 3 is on the pipe closest to the middle of the arena. Light side 4 is tucked away in the back corner. You will see it, don't worry. And light side 5 is here. Basically, what this encounter is, it's basically you disabling the Deep Stone Crypt security. People killing themselves, so well. But yeah, you're basically decrypting the crypt, so you can basically get in without, like, tripping up alarms and that basically. So this is where you get introduced to two buffs. There's the operator and then there's the scanner. Now we'll start with the scanner. So obviously one side already starts with the scanner and the others just have ads. When a servitor spawns, then the augment terminals are disabled. So you want to prioritize as soon as you see the servitor pop out to get that servitor down so they can pass the buff through. Because these mechanics is all about passing the buff. So now I have the scanner. What the scanner does is that you can look on top of the windows that's like above the canisters and everything, and you can tell the person downstairs who will be the operator which ones to shoot. So in my side this time it was light side 2 and light side 4. I radioed that down to my guy at the bottom and he shoots him. Basically you do that on both sides, and as you can see now the batteries are basically open. This is where the real fun begins, because this is kind of like a DPS stage. It's kind of not. It's like you've got to make sure you get all 6 of them down in 3 attempts. Like if you don't do it on the 3rd attempt, it'll enrage and it'll wipe you. So what you do now is obviously you swap the operator and the scanner buff round. So the operator sends the scanner buff up, Swan takes it, we send the scanner buff down to them. What they can see now is what we're doing. So my guy downstairs is called light side left. So we shot the light side and the thingy on the left side, which in terms of it we didn't do much of. Like we knew we were going to have to do another couple more in that, but that's basically it. You keep passing that buff around, you make sure you call out both sides of what the terminals to shoot for the guy downstairs, which I will show you in a second how that works, and then you shoot the crypt security basically. And more or less you just rinse and repeat if you need to. You can do it one phase. Like this time I've got light side 2 and light side 3. So it will always change, it will always be different, it will never be the same combination unless you're really lucky. Yes, there are overloads, so be careful of that. I didn't have any overloads, so I didn't care. I left it to my teammate. Just dodge everything and just make sure you keep sending that scanner back and forth, because everyone's going to need it, especially more than once. What I'll show you now is what the operator can do. So the operator for this encounter goes downstairs. These terminals that light up red, they can shoot. So this will like open doors, deposit boxes, drop down nuclear cores, which will be in a later encounter. This is what the operator does. And he can go downstairs now and obviously shoot. Be warned though, as soon as you step foot in this room, your 60-second timer starts. So once you're in this room, you have 60 seconds then to basically shoot all 4, do some damage if need be and everything, and more or less get out unless you've one-phased it. Otherwise you're going to die. That's just how it goes. Like the floor will go on fire and it's just like, it just kills you straight away, because obviously fire kills. Take a break, guys. But yeah, so now I'm down underneath, so I'll show you what it looks like underneath here. So I've sent the operator up. My guy upstairs is going to send the scanner down anytime now. So I'm looking above here and I'm seeing basically the rods again, but one of them's flashing yellow. That is the one the person downstairs has to call out. So that one, they just blew up light side middle. Now I see light side right. I radio that to everyone upstairs and they shoot that one. And again, if you've got time, you always look at for another one. That side now, it's dark side middle. So they will shoot the dark side middle, big massive fuel rod that's right in the middle of the room. Unfortunately, they didn't get it there, so we got to go again. Now, obviously, you have to make sure you have to send up the right one first. When damage phase starts and damage phase ends, the person who's downstairs has to send their buff up first. So someone upstairs can get it, and then we can get the operator buff back down. It's all about timing, it's all about communication and all, because if you can do it with the right times and that, then you can definitely get it in. It's just not letting me take it now, and it's really annoying because now there is a servitor up, so now I've got to wait for a bit. But now it's like, I'm on a timer basically, because near enough now, I'm going to get killed by the fire. So I'm trying to do as much as I can in order for them to basically get as close to the DPS as I can. Yes, there will be enemies down here, but they're hardly anything. It's just a few wretches and vandals. It's nothing big, but now I'm going to die. So I'll show you what the end looks like. Literally, you just rinse and repeat that, just like we are doing now. We're shooting the final 2, and that will basically complete the crypt security encounter. Encounter 1 done.
Satanics. The one on the left.
Oh, long time no see, mate.
What do you mean the one in the left?
I wasn't sure which one was Stanix. I was the
Zero
one
knows
that's
who
leaving.
Stannis is.
I assume he's pissed. He's like, you again. How many times have we killed him now? 5?
Yes, if you didn't know, that was Tanix. We will get to him in the next part of the encounters, but right now we are on Atrax. Now, Atrax is a different boss altogether. He has about four holograms at the bottom and 5 holograms up top. So what you want to do, first of all, is split your team into 2 teams of 3. 3 will stay downstairs, and 3 will go in the launch pods at the back of the room, and will go up into the space station. Just separate yourselves, get familiar with the surroundings, and basically just kill enemies. Servitors will then spawn back in as they did in the first encounter. You want to kill them, their priority obviously, but now you're looking for the operator and the scanner. So the operator will spawn downstairs, he'll either spawn on the left, the right, or in the middle, depending on where he wants to, and it'll just be a Vandal with a red buff above him. The scanner will spawn at the top, again, same spots, left, right, or middle, and they'll have the yellow. These are important now because you need them near enough before you kill the servitors. Because once you kill the servitors, that starts the DPS phase. Either you kill all the servitors and it starts it, or after a certain amount of time, it will start DPS phase itself. So obviously you're still juggling the buffs around, like at the timing of it and everything. Like, so they've already done damage. They didn't do that much. To be honest, they must have like you want to kind of want to wait for each other because swords are definitely brilliant for this encounter, and you want to like find the right one. Again, the one that you know is right, obviously, is the one that's yellow because you got the scanner. So you're always looking for the one that's yellow. And you just got to keep juggling the buff because you have to do about 4 DPS phases here. That's like 1 DPS phase, basically. Now, every time you kill an Atrax, he'll disappear. But he'll also drop a replicator debuff. Now, that will count down from 40 seconds. Obviously, by now, you probably know if it gets to 0, it's going to kill you. And that's just mechanic basically. So, especially downstairs, if you pick up that replicator debuff, you've got to go into the pod, go upstairs. The operator can then shoot it off you to basically drop it, and then you can re-pick it up again to reinstate your buff basically. So you'll increase the time because it'll go back to 40 seconds. Or, which normally like everybody has to do it anyway, you have to go into one of the airlocks that allows you in and basically have it shot off you, basically to chuck that Atrax off into space. That's basically all the operator does. Obviously, the scanner is doing his job and the operator's doing his job. And again, you keep juggling that debuff, that buff around. Once you've done one phase, so once upstairs, downstairs, I've done twice each. Send the scanner buff back up to them so they have it ready. And you'll rinse and repeat that basically. Just make sure you stay out of line of fire because these guys like to have a lot of aimbot on. We don't know why, it just happens. But yeah, make sure you stay close to the back enough and have some good range weapons. Obviously, a sword's going to be efficient. And you're just basically doing that rinse and repeat again. Obviously, we'll go through it again. Enemies, servitors, buffs, DPS. That's all you've got to remember basically. And it's pretty much as easy as that. Now, when you get down to near enough the last little bit, obviously you might have to do it to get there before you can. Like we've got a little bit of health left before we get to that final one. It's kind of like Riven, where Riven had the last little bit of health, and like obviously you went into the Taken Realm, jumped through the portal, and you had to keep shooting her at the end. It's kind of basically the same here. However, this stand, it's basically called the last stand here, and we'll explain in a second. So we're killing servitors off again because we've got our servitors out now. So obviously we've done enemies, now we're on to servitors. Just remember, once you've killed the servitors the first time and both buffs are out, as long as the 2 are still alive up top, then they can keep hold of the buffs. You don't have to drop them or anything, you don't have to re-pick them up. So that's always a good thing. Now, because I'm coming here with a scanner buff, I'm going to keep it on me because I know for a fact we are going to do enough damage. Now I'll explain the last stand phase. So we're just going to go and do our last DPS on here. It was on the right side. As you can see, it's glowing yellow again. Upstairs, the operator can only shoot the console to allow them to come out. which again is the right thing to do because the operator shoots consoles. Make sure that you shoot these down so people downstairs have enough to actually come up. And now this is where the last stand works, how it works basically. How it works is there's going to be like a ton of Atraxes. Like literally as soon as I step out of here, look, there's a lot of Atraxes everywhere. And like that. Again, you're looking for the one that's yellow. But however, it's not like one way. It's one after the other. You do damage to one and you've got to go again. You've got to find the next one. So for us, it was right underneath me. So I knew, like, I'm popping my bubble. We're getting this done, boys. Pop the bubble. Get a few people here. And kill the Wanger. Because he's gone now. That's it. That's that encounter completed. Not that hard. Very simple. Just very combat effective. And a nice heritage with a nice tasty reconstruction perk on. Now that we've made it to Tanix, it's time for the big boy fights. Okay, so the first part is basically a very fast-paced encounter. A lot of enemies are just going to swarm in, and obviously a few of them are going to have the buffs again. Again, there's going to be the scanner buff, there's going to be an operator buff, but there's going to be a new one now called suppressor. Now, this is where it gets easier in terms of how you use everything, but it also gets plenty of just everything. So, operator does its thing of shooting the consoles where the nuclear cores are going to spawn from. The scanner will have a look at the nuclear boxes that are in the middle of the room and tell us which ones are lighting up yellow. What we do is the one, because there's two on the left and two on the right, as you can see. The ones that are closest to Tanix, we call them far, and the ones closest to us, we call them close. So as you can see then, the operator shot the correct console because it was red for him, and he was able to drop some balls out, which are nuclear balls. Again, this will give you radiation. If it gets to 10, it's going to kill you. So from that first one, we had both right side. So literally all you do is take them over to the right side and deposit them. However, you can only deposit them when Tanix is stunned. And that's the job of the suppressor. On top of the catwalk, as you can just see just above me, and there's another one in the mid and top of another catwalk, there's these three balls that are like orange and white. Literally, all you need to do is just stand underneath them and shoot Tanix. Literally, that is all you're doing. You go to one of them, you shoot Tanix. You go to the next one, you shoot Tanix. You go to the final one, you shoot Tanix. He's stunned. You can deposit the balls in, and you can keep going on with the encounter. Yes, it's very fast paced. Like, literally, you probably will only have like maybe like 20 to 30 seconds of rest between each bit, and then you will have to go again. Like, it's very fast paced for this one. Like, you gotta keep moving with everything, and make sure you're on top with the call outs. Make sure you're on top of putting in everything. There will be overlords in here again, so ensure that someone on your team has got overlord weapons on. They're not really that efficient. They're just a bit of fun there. 'Cause, I mean, you can do it, and you do it for roughly like 5 or 6 times, something like that. And I'll just show you quickly what it looks like later on. So now that you've done it probably maybe about 4 or 5 times where the operator is shooting the correct consoles, as you can see on my screen, the scanner is telling us which one we need to pop them in, whether they're the close ones, whether they're the far ones, whether on the left, on the right, depending on where they're situated. And the suppressor's doing his job, or her job, depending on who your team is, of stunning Tanix underneath all 3 balls. Just remember though, if you are the suppressor team, you have to shoot him at least once underneath each ball. Like, you can't just do one, you have to do them all 3 of them. But as you can see now, it's basically the Deep Stone Crypt itself is actually being plummeted into Europa. So obviously we're in Europa's orbit now, because we were in space on the space station, and now we're jumping back down onto Europa basically. And we are basically, this encounter is preventing Europa's destruction at the end of the day. That's all we're doing. So this is like the mechanical side of it. Like, operator shoots the correct console. Suppressor stun Tanix, so you can go and deposit the balls in the nuclear boxes without any means necessary of him coming and running around, because he can be a nightmare at times. Really can be. But after a couple, you will have that pop up saying nuclear destruction imminent, and basically a floor in the middle will open up. Just get down there and run. Like, don't even think about killing anything. Yeah, there's going to be a couple of enemies in there. There's hardly anything. Literally, just get down there and run. Like, just run for your life. Because Tanix A will be following you, and B, if you don't get there then obviously you're all going to wipe. I'm going to have to do it again. It's literally, all it is just a straight linear walk through here into like another, what do you want to call it? Just like another airlock, basically. Tanix is stuck, so like he can't get out, so obviously he's going to get plummeted down, but again, we're all being plummeted. Your screen will go white like this. Doesn't matter. That's just all part of the encounter. As long as you get in that room, you're okay. If you all get there, you are moving on to the final encounter. So there's nothing wrong with being late there. It's just that, literally. We basically crash back on Europa. Yeah, you'll be damaged a bit, which is probably one of the better things Bungie have done, to be honest. Like, that took some time doing. But yeah, there's your chest, and we're ready for the final boss. Here we are, guys, the final boss. Final time you're going to face Tanix ever, hopefully. And it's exactly the same as what you've been doing throughout the raid. What you're going to do is you're going to split into 3 teams of 2 again. 2 operators, 2 scanners, and 2 suppressors. Now, obviously, your roles are exactly the same, in a different sort of way. So, as you could see, all you're doing at the moment is just killing ads. Literally, that's all you're going to do is just kill ads. You're going to spawn a captain, and then your Vandal's going to come out. And that Vandal's going to have the certain buff that's needed. Now, this is where it becomes crucial, because when the scanner has their buff, they're going to call out 2 boxes where the nuclear spores are going to be. Now, there's 6 of them around the map. There's 2 to my left right here. There's 2 on scanner side where that looks like a blue building, and then there's 2 on the orange. So when we hear them 2, we know like that's where we need to deposit the balls. How do we get the balls off, do you ask? Well, that's where my good boy Tanix comes into play. The thrusters on each side are the ones that you've got to shoot. We do it where we shoot the 2 front ones first, and then we shoot the 2 back ones. And basically you just damage it enough to basically knock off your nuclear pores, pick them up before they kill you, and then you're racing basically to get to the desired box that you're asking for. Now, this is where it comes crucial, because you will need to be put into teams. What we do, because the scanners only do their one job, and the operator does his job. So the operator is shooting, and the suppressor is shooting Tanix. As soon as he's ready to be suppressed, they're on it straight away. That leaves 2 scanners, an operator, and a suppressor. So what we do is we put the scanners back as a team, because we know they're the only team. We put the backup suppressor and the backup operator together. That's only there if like your radiation is going to tick up, because again, your radiation's back with the spores. If you pick up 10, you're going to die. So, and the good thing is now people can basically just take it off you. So like if like now I'm at 7, 8, 9, I ask my partner to take it off me. He holds X on it and he can take it straight away. Now, if you saw them purple balls, that like purple shields things that were around us, that's what's called a determinant bubble, like in Vault of Glass and like in everywhere else. All the operator does is shoots down. That's all the operator does, literally. You do that 2 times and you're on to damage. Now, damage can be a bit annoying because of how it gears, but if you've got a Titan bubble and a well with divinities and everything, you're good. Now, there's 2 things here that you've got to look out for. That's one of them. Okay, so that's a flying arc debris, which I have just been knocked away by. So yeah, I've probably missed about 3 seconds of damage there. That's vital, like, you miss that, because if you get knocked off by that, you're missing crucial DPS time. And there's also one more, because there's one in front and all. Like, you can see the line on the outside, there's one on the inside. If you get too close, obviously you're going to get electrified and it's going to kill you and all. The only thing with Divinity is on here, it's not on his crit spot on his head, it's underneath him. Like, we don't know why as such, it just happens to go underneath him. You put in as much damage as you can, 2 attempts on it, and you rinse and repeat, literally. You have to do it in 3 attempts, otherwise he will start his enrage mode, which is his last stand, which we'll get to at the end. But now that I'm going to pick up the operator, I am now the operator, I will now show you how that job affiliates itself in terms of listening and in terms of how to free people. Because basically, the suppressors are doing the same, and the operators are doing this. Suppressors are doing the same, and the scanners are doing the same. Obviously, my backup operator, who's now backup, is picking up with the backup suppressor. So I run away, just like to get some distance, have a look around, see where my teammates are, I see that one of them was trapped. I got trapped with him, so it was pretty good actually. And that's all you do. You literally just shoot the white balls on there, and you keep doing that. See, now they're trapped again. I may have run out of ammo on them by accident, but all you do is shoot the white ball on it, and you just keep running. Unfortunately, like, we had 3 people go there when we needed all 2 of us, and it was just one of them at the time. Just like, quickly, someone run over there now. But yeah, make sure you always go in pairs, especially to different ones, because if you're on different sides of the map, you need to make sure them pairs are close by. Because if they're not going to be able to take it off you, and you're pretty much going to die. Like, that just happens. Now, we already did a phase, and we're about to do another one now. This is where it becomes crucial now. Depending on how much ammo you have, and depending on what you've got on the ground, and depending on how much health Tanix has, depends on how much damage you're going to do here now. Like, if you've got him pretty much deep, then obviously you're going to save some ammo because you're going to need it. If you're not, then obviously you're going to use more ammo. But basically, you get about 10 to 15 seconds, and then he's going to blast you out, get the weapons back again, get back in, as long as that divinity's back on and all, just for a bit of sweet spot, and straight back on him. Now, this is his last stand. His last stand, basically, just keep shooting him whilst he's in the middle, but he'll go. He'll piss off somewhere. He'll piss off to either suppressor side, scanner side, or operator side. As soon as you see him move, find him and keep shooting him. Like, literally, don't even stop. Like, don't even stop unloading into him. Just keep shooting him. He will do his white mechanic of the purple orbital strikes, basically. Obviously, avoid them still, but make sure you keep shooting him. Like, every time you see him move, shoot him. Doesn't matter if it's crits. Obviously, crits is going to be best, but if all 6 of you are running it, you're going to drop him, and wherever he is, you're going to complete him. Literally, like, we're about a couple seconds off. We only need, like, a few more shots. See, he's done one on us again. Like, you probably have about 5 or 6 attempts there and all, where he will wipe you fully. But that is how you defeat Tanix. And that, my friends, is how you complete the entirety of the raid. Like, that is it. It's pretty much self-explanatory all the way through. Hopefully, this has taken me some time. Like, I've really put it off for a couple of weeks since when we did it. And I've also decided on, like, doing different bits at different times. And now I've really just gotten to it. And this has taken some time and consideration to actually do. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you all find it useful. And honestly, just bring up some love and support in the chat and everything, because in the description below, because this was just amazing. But that is basically it for the Deep Stone Crypt. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I was carrying 5 people through it this time, so you know how bad I was, and you can tell how bad I really am. But I will see you in the next video. Cheers, peace out.